Welcome to AusLEAP Day 3. We're partway through the program now, and where we are at is really at the point where you're going to be going out there, setting things up, working with your organizations. Some of you have already started. Hands up if you've already started working with your organizations and you've gotten in, at least you've gotten in contact. Yep, okay, you've gotten in contact. Hands up if you're in the process of getting in contact but you haven't had that first meeting yet. So we've got people in different spaces. For those of you who are new, my name is Aaron. I facilitate these set of workshops, and I'll be going through a lot of the workshop content for today. But to catch you up on everything, you've already had chats with Sojin to find out what's going on. This program is really about you taking on and discovering the Australian workplace, the Australian environment, and developing those like career development skills in the form of volunteering, making a difference for organizations that are out in the community doing things. Okay, so that's what this is about, giving you that opportunity and giving you the opportunity to develop and train and grow yourselves. Okay, and these workshops are designed to support you. So now, just a reminder, and this is going to be new for the people who are just here, like to complete the AusLEAP program, you're going to be doing 10 to 20 hours of volunteering and also submitting that 3-minute video. Now, for that 3-minute video, and we're going to be emailing this to you later today as well with a couple of tools which you might be able to use to do the editing. And really, it could be as simple as just recording it. Like, so last week, we actually just took out our phones and recorded like the answers to some questions. So it can literally be as simple as that. And really, for 2 reasons. Firstly, so that you get to practice sharing, hey, this is what I'm discovering, and also as a journal for yourself, for your own self-development. So you can look back on this time and go, hey, okay, this is what I got to discover. These are the bits which weren't easy. These are the bits which were challenging. Here's what I learned along the way, okay? So just that's going to be due this coming Sunday, not tomorrow, but like Sunday in a week's time on the 3rd at 5 p.m. And there are some prizes for what we're judging as the best videos. And by best videos, we don't mean that you're the best, and we're not looking at the quality of the production. We're looking for videos which demonstrate what you've accomplished and like how you've actually got and developed yourself. Okay, so I want to emphasize we're not going to be paying any attention to how fancy the video is. So if you put in 20 hours of video editing into a 3-minute video, like it's not going to matter. What we care about is like, hey, what's been your experience? What have you really learned? What have you been discovering? So if that means you spend less time in the video, that's fine. Okay. Any questions on this? Oh, sorry. There's the prizes. So the first prize is $500. Second is $400, $300, $200, and then $100. So there's 5 people. And one of the things which I haven't worked out yet is I'm working out how to offer a bunch of partial scholarships to my public speaking programs as well for people who are interested. But I need to work that out with the team and how many I can offer. So we're going to dive in now, and I'm going to ask you just what is leadership to you? All right, so who wants to share first? Which table? Which table wants to share first?
I can go first.
Good on you, Sheng Yang. Here's the microphone. All right, guys.
Good morning, everyone. First thing first is inspire the team.
Yep.
This is one of the lists here. And then trying to organize things well for the team itself. And then most importantly, taking responsibility, whether it's right or wrong, you take whatever accountability that you are facing. Whether it's right or wrong, you just face it, make a change out of it. That's a leadership quality. That's the main one. And good leadership must have a good communication skill. Without that, the team will get very messy. That's one of the leadership skills. And most importantly, when you're a leader, especially when you're a team like here, I mean one team on this table. People management is important. How you deal with people, because everyone is different and they have different languages, different personality, characters, and also culture as well. And people management, you need to know how to adapt, how to understand people and get through it, because that is really important to become a great leadership.
And what are some of the ways that you've been taking those things on in your team? Like, what have you been doing to take accountability, take responsibility, not just here, but in your actual role or in other places where you're part of a team or demonstrating leadership? What are some of those ways that you've talked about to actually understand those cultural differences or find out about what's there for people?
All right, I can give some experience based on previous
Just
workshop.
one. Not workshop. From experiences in a team. And this is for everybody, by the way, right? Here, just 1 second. Here at university, we tend to get put into this way of thinking that we want to make everything a fantastic concept or idea, or this is some more knowledge, more things to know. Hands up if you know what I'm talking about. We always want to add to the information that we have. Hands up if you can get that. That is one of the biggest things which kind of default happens at university. Now, I want you all to get that that's not going to give you any access to being able to exercise leadership effectively as your natural self-expression unless you actually put it into action. So this is why I want an example from action, not from a workshop, not from something you've learnt.
Okay, action.
Yeah, from action.
Let's talk about action. Okay, they have a dispute who is delegating which part for the assignment, and I had to solve the problem, try to understand the problem, and then gather all the information. From there, you try to resolve it, have a discussion between the
What did you say to them?
We have a discussion, and then...
Yeah, but what did you say? What did you say to them? Have a discussion. By the way, this is Sheng Yang's up in the hot seat at the moment. But I want to guarantee you that this would almost certainly be every single one of you. Okay, you want to get that because he's doing the work for everybody, right? So it might be a bit embarrassing for him, but really just realize, hold on, if you were in this sort of space, just notice, hold on, I might be answering the questions in the same way. And Sheng Yang, you're doing great, by the way. You get that? All right. Yeah, good on you. So notice and this is about leadership, but it's also about communication, right, as a whole. Notice how much of our language is conceptual. We had a discussion, so you can kind of get a vague sense of people speaking, but notice that when you look into it a little bit, you've got no idea about what's actually happening. All right, so what did you say to them? What did you say to them? What were the words that came out of your mouth?
Oh, I was saying, so I tell them, I say, if you don't want to do that part, I will do it.
Okay, yeah.
For that.
Okay, clear. So by the way, so everyone, just give me a thumbs up if that's really clear now what Sheng Yang did. He said, if you don't want to do it, I'll do it. Hands up, give me a thumbs up if that's clear now, right? Okay, cool. So you just had a mini breakthrough in communication because up until then it wasn't clear.
Trying to be as generous as possible.
Don't. So here's another thing for everybody. When you do your videos or when you share with people what's going on, you can kind of get that sharing, hey, I had a wonderful time, I learned so much, I developed my leadership skills, communication skills, and all that sort of stuff. That can be quite vague. It's nice, right? Definitely feel free to say it. But what's going to make the difference is sharing those moments. So if I shared about this moment, I could say, hey, I was at the AusLEAP Workshop on the weekend, and I had an interaction where I actually had a chat with one of the participants live in front of the entire stage, and we really started to discover, hold on, how we generalize so much with our speaking. And I told him, actually have a look at what you're saying, what actually came out of your mouth. What are those actual words? And as he was kind of grappling with it, he finally got there, and all of a sudden, every single person in the room was like, oh, I get what that person did. So do you get that and I discovered, okay, cool, this is a new this is something which is really important in communication. All right, so if I just kind of shared just then about this situation, everyone got that? I was just talking about it, but it was clear and you could almost picture it. Obviously you were here for it, so you know what happened, but it was clear. Okay, Sheng Yang, I'll pause it there, but one of the things I wanted to highlight, taking responsibility, communication, understanding understanding the team, cultural differences, personality differences, and there was one thing you said at the start. What was the thing you said at the start? Yeah, inspirational. Okay, great. Sheng Yang, thank you. All right, hands up if you've heard of something called the Belbin team roles. Most of you won't have, but if you have? A couple of you have. Okay. Okay, so the Belbin team roles basically are a set of characteristics that demonstrate in a specific situation. Let's say the team that you're in here or the groups that you're part of for your volunteering, how you are going to tend to act within a group. Okay, so I'm actually not going to describe it, I'm just going to show it to you, because it's very useful to start understanding, okay, what do I tend to do? Thanks for sharing the screen. So let me pull this away. Okay, so your job is going to be to read through these and find out for yourself. Now, there are tests online which you can do. We're not going to do those today. Okay, so I just want you to have a look at them and ask yourself which are the ones which are the 2 or the 3 most appropriate for you. And I'll give you an example. So for me, my number 1, 2, and 3 are in some order: resource investigator, shaper, and coordinator. Now I'll tell you what that means. Now, resource investigator, that means that I'm someone who's extroverted. Yes, we can see that, I think. Quite optimistic. I'll connect with lots of people. I'll find out lots of resources. I'm someone who, if someone goes, we don't know how to do this, or we don't have the equipment, we don't have the gear, I will figure something out, and I'll do that quite happily. As a shaper, I'm very happy to go and make things happen. You move over here, let's get it done so we can sort this out, right? And as a coordinator, I'm good at kind of keeping track of a whole bunch of different things. Now, some of the things which I'm not good at is completer, completer finisher. I am terrible at the completer finisher. So that's not me. In fact, I would say that's one of my opposites. I love to start projects, and then once I've started the project, I love to keep on starting projects. And then once I started those projects, I find another project and I start those projects. And I'm like, man, I've got all these unfinished projects. So a completer finisher is not me. So this is incredibly valuable. Now I want to ask a few people, what is the benefit of knowing this about yourself and knowing this about your teams? So you can, can we get a microphone? Whoop. Oh, it's right behind you. How good. There it is.
Firstly, when I get to realize what everybody is capable of and what they're not capable of, it gives me an idea of what everyone would be good at doing.
Yeah.
So for a task that would require different tasks in it, I can, put people on a task and not on that task because they're better at doing this than that. That way I would eliminate any issues or any problems, and the project can be done easily because it's like everybody's doing what
all of our coordinators are like, yes, efficiency. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. And by the way, are you a coordinator? Is that one of yours?
No, it's a shaper.
You're a shaper. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, same world, but slightly different side of the action and the people. But it's so cool that even the things that you get excited about are inside of the world of what you're in. All right, so what I want you to do in your team now is just take a moment, and I want you to brainstorm what's going to be the number one thing that if I knew that about my team, it would make the biggest difference in us being able to work as a team. All right, and ask, like, brainstorm. Okay, and this is for like maybe your group here, but like especially your volunteering groups for your organizations, and also for anywhere in life where you're in teams. I want you to brainstorm. I want you to guess. I want you to have a think of what question, if I were able to answer that in this group, would make the biggest difference in having our team work effectively. All right, so let's quickly, I'm just going to run past each team. What are some of the questions that, if asked, would really allow leadership and would really make a difference in your teams? Yeah.
So the ultimate question is understanding where all the team members in a team stands.
Okay.
If they just want to do the work for the sake of doing it, or they want to actually learn through it and get the best work done.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So where does my team stand? Do they want to do it? Do they not want to do it? Yeah, I can, like, hands up if you can see that would be really helpful to be able to answer that question. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. All right, on here, what more questions do we have? Yes. You got Joy voluntold you.
The ultimate question would be, what are your strengths and weaknesses in terms of maybe skill set?
Okay. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Right? And everyone can kind of see the value of that, can't we? Like, hands up if you can see the value of, like, asking, hey, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Right? All of those things that you said and were about to say are in the world of, you can start to make things more efficient. You can start to allocate those roles. Like, all of our monitor evaluators, all of our coordinators are like thinking happy thoughts right now. They're like, yeah, like that'd be really, really great. So first of all, like, you should absolutely capture all of those questions, keep track of them, because those questions are really, really valuable. Okay, I think everyone can see that asking and thinking about those questions, and bringing them into the space is gonna elevate your performance. Now, ultimately, I want everyone to consider that it's all part of this one question, right? It all kind of flows in, and all of those things really connect into this, which is what is important to you, right? Because when you ask someone, I want to let me demonstrate. Can someone volunteer just to share with me over here? Dahlia, thank you. So Dahlia, I want to ask you just tell me, like, hey, in the context of this program, in the context of your team, but also in the context of, like, everything which you're up to in life, like, what's important to you?
Finding out what I want to do.
Yeah, why is that important to you?
Because without it, I'd probably be doing things for no reason and without actually understanding myself. So that's important to me.
Yeah, great. And what's it like when you get the opportunity to find out those things which you're up to?
It's exciting because it kind of makes me want to push myself to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, find out more. Yeah.
Great. And inside of this program, like, what are those, like, opportunities that you can really see to go get at that?
It's probably when it comes to communication, because I was originally a very introverted person. Yep. And then it kind of just gives me a chance to be like, I'll put myself out there, communicate, find out more, and just get some skills that I've never really had before. So,
Awesome. Okay, great. Give Dahlia, stay standing. We give Dahlia a big round of applause. All right. So everyone, fill up these front seats. We've got a special mini panel interview. So this is an opportunity to hear from people who have gone through what you're going through now. They've done volunteering in a variety of different forms. Some of them as volunteers, some of them also as volunteer managers, some as kind of like looking after volunteer programs, and in many cases, even just kind of contributing in so many different variety of other places here and there. So we've got a very familiar Thomas, who a lot of you will know as well. We've got Alex and we've got Osman, and they will be the panel. In a moment, I'm going to invite them to introduce themselves and share a bit about their background, volunteering, how they first got started, like just big picture. Yep. And for everybody, this is going to be an opportunity for you to really dive in and ask those questions that are going to make a difference, both for your project, but also for your life, okay? Because once you get started in this, it's one of those things where you start volunteering, you start getting involved, you start opening up this world. It's forever a extra sort of lens and an extra sort of bonus superpower that you'll have in the world. Just being able to see those opportunities in ways that you won't have seen them before now. So fantastic. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over to whoever wants to start first. Who'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself and your volunteering journey?
Go for it, Alex.
Okay. Hi, I'm really excited to talk to you and talk to you about one of my favourite subjects, which is volunteering and volunteering experiences. So I'm trying to figure out who I've met before, maybe one or two. But my background in volunteering and this world and my experiences really started when I made a decision that I could not work for profit because I am just figured out I was a very values-driven person, and I'd worked for for-profit businesses and found it really, really hard to get up and go to work in the morning, and I said, well, I can't live like this, so I started exploring a few different things. So it started for me, like a lot of people, by taking a few steps that felt accessible and supported. So I started randomly, someone turned up at a uni lecture and said, we're an international volunteering program. We're going to Costa Rica. Do you want to come? And I said, yes.
ISV?
ISV. Yeah. And there's something about doing something that's super structured and super supported that you just jump into right away. And that was where I started volunteering. I then came back and started working for Taronga Zoo. And I ended up managing their volunteer program of about 600 adult volunteers from ages of 18 through to about 94, and learning more about the sector, working for purpose. Went and did a course on social impact at UNSW, managed volunteers for New South Wales National Parks, the Breast Cancer Foundation, but along my journey also continued to volunteer myself. So I volunteered for the TEDx Sydney conference. And one of the interesting things for me with volunteering is how much freedom it gave me to play. So I had my day job that I was very stressed about doing well and becoming good at and really cared about. And then I joined this other organisation, TEDx Sydney, that's super responsive, completely volunteer run. The manager had an idea of why not, run a conference at the Opera House for 1,500 people that's volunteer run. Why not put a cow on the front at the Opera House steps to talk about climate change and food waste? Why not run a a Guinness World Record attempt for the most people in a room playing the spoons at the same time? Why not? And so it really helped me explore for my professional work, not being perfect, jumping in and trying things, and growing networks and just being a little bit more brave. So it kind of gave me a bit of a play space where everyone was volunteers. And so it's just an interesting perspective. I now work here at UTS. I've been here for 3 years, and I work on the social justice and volunteering program for students. So that means that I also get to see a lot of student experiences, what works for them, what doesn't. We partner with over 300 volunteer-involving organisations. So I guess when it comes to the perspective that I bring to you, yes, I have my own personal journey in my professional life and how volunteering's contributed. But also, if you have any questions, I can let you know what are some of the common student pitfalls, what are the things that are really successful, what have they really liked, what works well. So please ask me any and all questions. I'd really love to help because there's a lot of random stuff out here.
Thank you, Alex. Give her a quick round of applause. Fantastic, thank you. Let's go over to Osman. Let's go to Osman. We'll finish.
Osman, okay, yeah, nice.
This is where I flex my. Okay, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, trying to be the lucky last, but anyway, Thomas can be lucky last. So, my name's Osman Ma, and I see some familiar faces. Please put your hands up if you know me. It's only one. There you go. That's a few. Thank you. So that's good because I've got a little bit of standard way of introducing myself. So, not many people then will be hearing again. So I'll start with my personal background. I'm a bit of a mixed bag, and I introduce myself as ABCM. So you probably know ABC, Australian-born Chinese, but I'm not one of them, sorry. So my ABCM is slightly different. Yes, A still stands for Australia because I've been here for more than 25 years. So I think I should be qualified for calling myself Aussie, Australian. B stands for Burma or Myanmar, because I was born there in Burma. Anyone from Burma? No? Okay. C stands for Chinese, because I've got, even though I was born in Burma, I've got Chinese lineage. So C stands for Chinese. Anyone with Chinese lineage or speak Chinese? Put your hands up. Oh, there you go. Quite a few there. And M stands for Muslims, because I'm a practicing Muslim. Right? Anyone with Islamic faith base? There you go. Yeah. So I usually greet also in those 4 languages, right? So Burmese, Ming Lava, that's how we say hello. And Chinese, Ni Hao. Hope I got it right. My wife always said my accent is like foreigner accents. So hopefully that was right. And, Muslims, so Assalamu Alaikum. That's how we greet. And A, I don't know how to do it, but good day.
Claim it, yep.
Close enough, yeah. So there you go. That's my personal background. And my professional background, like Alex, I've got a bit of a connection to UTS as well. Last summer, I ran a program called Optic as a lead engineer and leadership coach. That's where I met Phoebe? No, H. Yes, there you go. Because you were wearing mask. So that program is pretty famous now. I hope it is. It provides real-world experience to you guys, international students, to get internship, right? Some of you got a lot of problem with that, so UTS generously created this program to provide internship opportunity with the real-world experience. That's what we did. Prior to that, I worked for one of the best Australian engineering company called Cochlear. So we do hearing implant. It's the biomed company. So I went there, like you guys, as an international student with an internship opportunity, and I ended up staying there for all my professional life, corporate life. That's like a span of 18 years. And I did various roles, including manager roles and leadership roles. And during that time, I found I worked alongside many migrants. My definition of migrant is anyone who comes from overseas. That's qualified as migrant, and I'm one of them. And I work alongside them, and I've seen their struggle as well as success in climbing the corporate ladder, in advancing their leadership journey, right? So I have a lot of lived experience, and sometimes they get stuck, right? So I have that lived experience, how to break through. And that became my passion. So when I left corporate midway through COVID, I decided to start my own leadership training and coaching company. And I provide coaching, training and workshop to organization and individuals. And that's what I do these days to make a living, right? Now, that's my professional background. Now, you might be asking, why am I sitting here and talking to you guys? Why you as well? When I see you, I see future leaders, right? Aaron said, volunteering gives you superpower, right? Any guesses as to what superpower that might be? Anyone? Come on, I see you guys as leaders. Leaders, speak up. There you go.
Making connections.
Spot on. I thought I have to go like 4 or 5 people to get the right answer. Making connections.
Give Jan a big round of applause, everyone. Give her a round of applause.
What's your name? Jan. Yeah, future leaders. There you go. Right? So connection is really important. That's one of the things that I work with my client. Ranging from entry level all the way to senior level leaders, right? Connection is really important. It is as simple as this. If you want to lead a group of people, you have to connect with them. You have to belong to that group. If you're not one of them, you can't lead them. Simple as that. How can you lead someone that you have no connection with? You don't have belonging. So now, volunteering, guess what? It is a big opportunity for you to connect with this land, people on this land, and the culture of this land called Australia. Right? It's a big opportunity. One of the problems that we had, and this is my lived experience, I got straight into the corporate role. I had no idea about what good day was even. Like what good day? Like that's not how are you, that's not hello, right? It's good day.
It's
maybe
like,
grit,
is it? Yeah, it is. What are you talking about, though,
what are you
G'day?
talking about, right?
It's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Good day. Yeah, it is good day. But what are you talking to me or are you talking to the day? You know. So even the subtle thing kind of make you feel like you're out of the loop, you're out of the group. Then how can you be a leader, right? So that's one of the biggest barriers that you will face if you're not finding that connection. And guess what? You guys are having that opportunity now to gain that connection, to gain that belonging, a sense of belonging. And that's the superpower that you're going to have. Right? A sense of belonging to the land, the people, and the culture. Right? So, well done to you, and well done to Sojan. Where's Sojan? He's run away. Oh,
There he is.
There you go. Give a round of applause to Sojan. Yeah? The reason is, I really wish I had this opportunity because I came here as an international student as well. I'm just like one of you guys, right? But I did not have this opportunity. Back then, we didn't have leaders like Sojan, right? So we didn't have the opportunity. It was a small community, to be fair, though. So now you do have this opportunity. So grab it with both hands. Make the best out of it. Set yourself up for your future leadership by taking this opportunity to gain that connection and belonging to the culture, to the land, and the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Osman, and over to Thomas.
No, I'll keep mine very inspirational from Alex and Osman. I'll keep mine short and simple, but I just want to share like how elements of their stories have helped shape my career. So I'm a UTS alumnus, Filipino Australian heritage, and I'm someone that did a civil engineering background, right? Going to the corporate world, work my way up the ladder. But even then, during my university career, I was passionate about trying different things, connecting with the community, people outside my discipline to make real difference. I was yet to find what that purpose looked like, but that came through saying yes to different opportunities such as this, programs that ran my university, going abroad and volunteering. So in Thailand, I volunteered to teach English for 3 consecutive years over my holidays, and I really loved that, to really expose myself to what it means to live among other communities and see how I can help them in a meaningful and impactful way. As well as in Australia. So yes, similar, America to our parallels is that you're here in Australia, so say yes to every opportunity where you can volunteer, but also, I guess, where me being an Australian, I said yes, not just to programs abroad, opportunities abroad, but also here back home, where I was able to join many students traveling throughout rural New South Wales to help communities do like simple jobs, gardening, painting, but what really helped shape me was seeing the difference you can make in building those lifelong friendships. So when I went into the corporate world, ACOM, which I still work in, by the way, yes, I love my career, and I believe everyone has a particular trajectory, whether it be going to the legal field, accounting field, IT. For me, it was engineering, and I love that. I like to believe I did. I did 5 years of it, and then going into working within the private sector, but I still wanted to give back. So volunteering really offered that realm of space outside work hours where I can explore, and that took the form through Macy Consultants, which is a social enterprise I run today. Basically, we focus on water, sanitation, and hygiene education in vulnerable communities, especially in the Philippines, which you know is one of the most disaster-prone countries. Many people are displaced, lose homes, and get affected by waterborne sicknesses because of a lack of health facilities, a lack of education, and a lack of government support. So that's a problem I was able to identify throughout my journey, really sinking my professional career as an engineer. So still taking what I've learned at my university, but building upon that through all these volunteering opportunities that help me to work with different cultures, that help me to manage conflicts that I wouldn't see in my day-to-day job. And that really built up the leadership as well as the collaborative skills to really help elevate my organization where it is today, 4 days down the line. Why volunteering is still important is I wasn't successful at the start with Macy Consultants. Long story cut short is I took a pause because I couldn't really excel. I didn't have all the leadership skills I needed. So I worked with another group of people, all volunteer, to start up a new organization called the ASEAN Australia Strategic Youth Partnership, which is a registered Australian charity, has grown and is making a big waves in Australian relationships with Southeast Asia. I learned a lot from those people I did that with. It was purely volunteer run, but because of that experience, I was able to go back to Macy Consultants, take the connections and the networks and help this organization really grow. So volunteering does make a difference, and not just now in university, but still continuing to exploring it down the line. So again, it pays tribute to what Alex and Osman does share, that it does help you realize who you are, and it's an ongoing journey.
Fantastic. Let's give Thomas a big round of applause.